Out of the gate, JT in Vegas on a big night tonight. We got a lot to talk about, and I only have 3 hours with you. God, I wish I had 10. I wish I had 12. But I got three tonight, and I'm going to go, as we say in sports, balls out. So get on in, get going. I'm going to give you three 20-minute monologues. We got a couple of guests that we'll dive into, and I'll have it all covered for you. And you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to kiss my ass. You don't have to say, unbelievable show. You can just come on in and sound off like you got a pair. Come on in with energy, excitement, like you give a crap. Because there's not many channels left in sports talk radio that give that much to you. And we thank you every night. I thank you every time I can. But all I ask for is you to match my energy. And if you can, it will enhance the show. If not, I'll put the whole show on my back like I'm walking up a mountain, and I'll carry us to the top of the mountain. You got it? Let's go. 888-623-3646. By this time of night, you should know what you want to talk about. But I got the first 20 minutes of every hour and react and get it on in here. Today's a big day because, first off, I don't like when the NHL and the NBA both have a night off. There we go again, Gary Bettman. You blew it. The NHL Stanley Cup, look at the schedule and find out when the NBA is not playing. And play your games when you don't have to compete. But again, you need time off. You need time off between games. Florida Panthers are looking like they want to be a dynasty. Zig Fergasi. Yes, Zig, my longest tenured radio host. We started together 30 years ago. He's going to come on in and tell us what the Oilers need to do if they're going to come back. Also, Bob Nightingale, the legendary baseball insider, will join us at the bottom of the hour talking about Judge versus Ohtani. Some of the teams that are struggling, the Tigers. Man, we're going to do some Tiger talk here with Bob Nightingale in the first hour because they look really good. And then I'll preview the NBA Finals Game 3, where I didn't think Indiana had much of a chance, but I didn't think Indiana would beat my Knicks. I didn't think the Indiana Pacers would get this far, but they get a home game here. Do you know that Indiana hasn't hosted an NBA Finals game since the year 2000, 25 years ago? That place is going to be rocking off the charts, and that's going to add to Oklahoma City trying to play their best game. Crowds matter. Noise matters when you can't hear yourself in a timeout. So that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about this as we get rolling. But we're going to lead with Aaron Rodgers because we're supposed to. We are a football show first. I'll talk football all day long. Raiders minicamp today. Hot here. It's 100 degrees here in Vegas for minicamp, not training camp. Good luck, Pete Carroll. Make sure they get in the pool after every practice. It is a scorcher out here. But your football team came together for mandatory minicamp, and a lot of players decided to miss it. Now, let me begin how I began my show earlier today. If you're a player in the final year of your contract and you want to hold out from mandatory OTA minicamp, I'm fine with that. I'm really good with that. Now, if you want to sit out training camp, which starts in July, then you're going to miss some really important, valuable reps because training camp is very important because you want to make sure that you show up and you have the playbook and you understand the concepts of the team. That's very important. I know a lot of people are like, we don't need preseason. Yes, we do. You got to put a football team together with draft picks and free agents. You need practice. And this is really the last chance that the players have to practice in organized team activities before they shut it down and go on vacation. That means the coaches, the players, especially the players, they go. They go home, they go on vacation, they still work out. But this is their only time of the year where they really get to say, we are not going into the building. We're going to take some time off and we're going to relax and get our bodies ready for training camp. Now, a lot of coaches are going to get fired. A lot of coaches are going to get fired. Usually they're 6 to 7. Every year we call it Black Monday because the teams underperform. So those coaches aren't going to be taking their wives to Cancun, man. They're not going to be taking them to Puerto Rico and the Dominicana or to Europe, man. They got some work to do. And there's a bunch of teams, as I mentioned, 6 or 7 teams that have Super Bowl rosters. Out of those 6 or 7, maybe 1 or 2 won't make the playoffs. And then there's going to be a team or 2 that you don't think's a playoff team, and they're definitely going to make the playoffs. I hope that happens here in Vegas. Maybe in Nashville, they hope that could be the year. It could be Indianapolis with Daniel Jones. Oh, yeah, Daniel Jones is going to quarterback that team, and he's a really good athlete. He's an A-list athlete who gets an opportunity to really have no competition with Richardson's injury. But I want to lead with Aaron Rodgers because he deserves to get his flowers tonight. You see, we all rip on Aaron Rodgers because he's different. He's awkward. He loves podcasts. He loves to talk about just all these conspiracy theories. He has opinions on everything, which he's allowed to. I don't talk politics. He's got a lot of political opinions, vaccines, all these things. He's a polarizing figure, but he's a damn good football player. And he's always been a really good football player. He had one of the greatest years in the history of the NFL at the quarterback position, one of his 4 MVPs. And he ends up landing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he should get a round of applause from you because he handled it perfectly. If the Steelers at any point in time would have said, no, we think you're nuts, we don't want you, oh boy, the door was closed. Where would he play? Not going to play in Arizona. They got Kyler Murray. He's not going to play in Houston. They got C.J. Stroud. He's not going back to Green Bay with Jordan Love. He played his cards perfectly like he was sitting in the Bellagio poker room and just won the hand. He ends up with the vaunted and famed Pittsburgh Steelers, 6 Lombardi trophies throughout the course of that franchise's history. They go to the playoffs every year. They have a future Hall of Fame coach, DK Metcalf. You look around at their defense, TJ Watt, I'll get to him. He didn't want to show up today. He wants a new contract. But Aaron Rodgers met the media today, and it looked like he was exceptional, throwing the ball around, completely healthy, ready to roll. He's enjoying this opportunity in his life because he gets a chance to play in Pittsburgh, where he said the fit is exactly what he was looking for. Yeah, it's a good comment that he said there. Look, he's telling the Pittsburgh fans, this franchise is iconic, and he wants to play for them because he played for Green Bay, and that is an iconic organization. You know, the clock was interesting on Rodgers. Give him credit. He got to mandatory OTAs, so we waited till the last second to sign the deal. All right, that's an important soundbite that we need to save because he says he's all in. So, he's got to be there at training camp. He's got to be, he knows he had to show up at this mandatory here. He wants to be there. He's got to get the playbook because he's going to disappear for a while. Hiawatha retreat. He's going to do something. He got married. I couldn't believe that. We'll get to that. So he waited because he needs the playbook. He needs to know what they're going to run. So it's very important he signed up at this time. And plus, he's ready to play. He said he likes playing football, and he's not done yet. Wow, he just broke out his soul. He downplayed his ego, and he talked about his soul. Wow, that is deep. That's pretty heavy stuff, man. You only get that if you meditate. You only get that if you go to a house of worship, wherever you worship. Whatever you do, you just can't get that and say that because you drink a couple of beers and you feel a little loose, man. That's a guy saying something from his soul. He's telling everybody in Pittsburgh this was a soul decision, which had nothing to do with his ego. God, did he play this beautifully today? And he talked about the motivation he has coming to Pittsburgh for his last ride to keep on playing. I tell you, he won the press conference. He won the press conference. He did it. So finally, the last soundbite is the most important. You don't go to Pittsburgh unless you're competing for a championship. And there are a lot of bad teams in this league that are not going to compete for a championship. Give Rodgers credit because he lands in Pittsburgh where he said he wants to win and deliver a championship. All right, my job is to find topics to get you to engage the show. If not, we're just a damn podcast. Everybody's got a podcast. My neighbor's got a podcast. He doesn't do anything. I go, he's retired. He's got a podcast. I got podcasts too, but this is the large radio show. So what's the topic? What can I get you to tweet at me or call in on? Why can't you give this guy credit? Why can't you give this guy credit on a day where he was great? You don't know him. You never met him. You never caught a ball from him. You don't like him. You don't give him credit. Why didn't you give him credit today? The guy absolutely obliterated that press conference beautifully. He talked about his soul, his life, his egoless life. He wants to go win. He wants to play for Coach T. He wants to win for the city of Pittsburgh. So you Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I'm putting you on the clock. I'm going to get you to comment on this topic. I demand it. Because you idiots out there that are burning jerseys in any sport, and again, I don't use that word much. I respect you a lot. I get called a lot worse. You should see my DMs. And there were people burning jerseys of Aaron Rodgers, burning jerseys. I mean, how much time you got to have on your hand to get kerosene or to get gasoline and put it on a jersey and burn it? I've never been that guy. That's not me. I don't do that. There were fans in Pittsburgh burning jerseys. They didn't want him here. They didn't want Aaron Rodgers. You know how much better of a quarterback Aaron Rodgers is than Ben Roethlisberger? You know how much more talent he's had, more than anybody has put on that uniform, with all due respect to Terry Bradshaw. Even Terry Bradshaw went after Aaron Rodgers a week ago. So Aaron Rodgers is doing us all a favor tonight. He's back in the league. We're a better league with him. What do you want to do? Talk about Daniel Jones? You want to go around this league and talk about some of these quarterbacks in this league? You want to talk about Mason Rudolph? I'd have no show. I'd be living under a bridge. I'd be out of work. Aaron Rodgers is good for football. He's polarizing and he's a great player. The question is, too many people believe he's done. They believe he doesn't have anything left. Today, slinging it sideways, 60 yards, hitting Metcalf over the middle of the field. The guy's a great football player. I rip on him hard. I come after him hard. I'm giving him a lot of credit today. So the topic is simple as I open up hour number one. How many games does Rodgers win this year? You want to be a tough guy in the bar and make fun of this guy? Go ahead and do it. But don't say he's going to win 6. This team shows up every year and wins 9, 10 blindfolded. They're in the playoffs every year, and they're in a division with the Ravens and Joe Burrow. They're in the playoffs every year. They play Kansas City and Buffalo every year, the Patriots. And Tomlin always finds his way to the playoffs. And now he has Aaron Rodgers. He's 41 years old, coming off no injury, completely healthy, just got married, wants to play in Pittsburgh, looked great today. How many games does he win? Does he win 10? Does he win 11? Does he win 9? Does he flame out and crash and burn? Or does he hold up a Lombardi trophy, which I doubt he'll do? 888-623-3646 is the number. I think he had a good day today. I know how to make it personal at times. When I get really worked up on a topic and I get a little bit personal on it, then I pull back. I say, well, I was a little bit emotional there. Well, no one should be emotional tonight. It's June. It's June, man. Everybody, when it comes to sports, look at your TV and what's happening around the world. This is the fun place to come hang out. And Aaron Rodgers, I think he is a lot like a political figure. That's as far as I'll go with politics. I don't go to the third rail. But he's like a political figure that you don't like in politics. You don't know why. Like that guy or gal's not in your party. You don't like their policy on some different issue. He's like a politician. And I think he is going to be a politician. He hangs out with Bobby Kennedy. He hangs out with a lot of politics. He sits down with Joe Rogan. And I think that's his next path. I think that Aaron Rodgers, when he's 50, 55 years old, is going to have some role in politics. He's been giving us that warning sign for a long time. But he's got one more ride left. And I don't think this is a 2-year ride. I really do believe that this is it. When he plays at Jet Life Stadium, as he likes to call it, for the opener, that's the last time he's going to play that team in that building. So I feel like this is going to be not a victory lap for him, but a very important year in the league for Aaron Rodgers. And I give him enough credit to know how great he is. I'm not one of these radio hosts that say professional athletes suck. Like, I deal with some toddler Dodger fans that tell me Judge didn't win a World Series ring yet, so he sucks. I have to deal with those people. I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers sucks. I think he's pretty good. Speaking of Judge, we got the home run tonight that has not landed. This home run has not landed. Thank God the Yankees get to play Minnesota and Kansas City and all these other teams that just roll over when the Yankees come to town. Here's one of the biggest bombs of the year off the bat of Aaron Judge. Yeah, Yankees radio was an absolute bomb. Absolute bomb. I don't know where it would have landed in Boston. I don't know, that little green wall that saves a lot, like a softball league. They make fun of the Yankees short porch in Boston. They have that little green monster, as I like to say. That ball would be in the Charles. I mean, he just launched it. And he's 105 points tonight, 105 points ahead of Ohtani. I've never seen anything like that. Do you remember Pete Rose being 105 points ahead of the next hitter? Do you remember anybody being 105 points ahead of a guy who claimed to be the best player in baseball, Ohtani? Ohtani doesn't pitch. He doesn't play the field. Judge plays the field and has 105-point average, higher than Ohtani. I got people walking around telling me Ohtani's better than Judge. Really? Really? After tonight, after these numbers? Now, the question is, does Judge have to win a ring to be the greatest player in baseball? No. You don't have to win a ring to be the greatest player in anything. You don't have to have a ring to be the greatest player in basketball. You know, it'd be nice if you have a ring. A ring adds to your legacy, but you can be the best player. Barry Bonds, like him or not, was the best player in baseball for a long time, and so was Ted Williams. They never won a ring. Ernie Banks was the greatest shortstop for a generation, never won a ring. But Judge has got to win eventually. I'll dive into that a little bit later on in the show. Bob Nightingale at the bottom of the hour. Mike in Virginia, as we open up with your expectations for Aaron Rodgers after his first press conference. Go ahead, Mike. Doing well, thank you. You just said a guy that won 4 MVP awards. You just said a guy that won 4 MVP awards. Hold on a second, Mike. You said that a guy that's won 4 most valuable player awards is underachieved? Okay. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with winning a championship? Okay, so is Dan Marino, right? Dan Marino never won. He underachieved? Okay. So you judge everything on championships. Okay. He won one. I told you in the monologue, I don't think you win one, you're a world champion. You get introduced at every banquet as a Super Bowl champ and a Super Bowl MVP. But that's not enough. Thanks for the call for Mike in Virginia, proving my point. I don't know what Mike in Virginia does for a living. I don't know if he's a cop, a teacher, an accountant, but he just called Aaron Rodgers an underachiever. That's what makes sports great. We get so wackadoodle nuts, and we call people underachievers who fly in private jets and have, $100 million in the bank, and we call them underachievers, man. Yeah, again, I've been flawed too. I've said that probably over the past. Underachiever. Here's TJ in Omaha on Aaron Rodgers in his final year. What do you think he does, TJ?